Hi guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. So we are picking up where we left off. So, alright, the ultimate despair. The group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. The same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. I doubt it. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Well, it's locked, but we have a way to open this door. I guess we have to talk to her. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Every door but this one. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. Then... Good, because otherwise we'd die here. Surrounded by trash. Yes! It opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Phew. Finally. We're finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief. A breath of relief, okay. Because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Deadly life. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Good lord, her legs are freaking long. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. I mean, like, seriously, no one's legs are that long. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. Then again, look at Makoto's legs. It's like 6 times the long length of his body. I had no idea we were down so far. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said that you were the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh, but how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That's how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all these years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I want to say to him, though. What?
No
matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So,
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future,
however,
but he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
so,
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
however,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family? To just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Dude, how did he... If it's really that far, how the hell did he not die? Oh, that's true, though. They were in the basement, so it probably wasn't as far as where they're climbing up to. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of the door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... It looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led. So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed a nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't... Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation and Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little... No, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay. Leave the area? Yeah, I guess. We gotta walk to the gym. Oh, my poor birdie's all snuggled in my hand, but I gotta steal it back. Sorry, booger. Like, I just had my hand laying on the back of the couch while I was clicking through that, and, like, he was all snuggling on my hand, but I had to steal it back in order to, like, finish playing and, like, actually walk. I'm like, I can't do this without my hand. Walk, walk. I lied. Monokuma's on the 5th floor. Damn it! Well.
Well now.
That's weird. I really did not think it. Oh my god, that was creepy. Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
I don't believe it!
But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? It's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule.
Making me angry!
So now I gotta punish you again! And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
now.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh?
Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that, you must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of being that, of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto.
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey.
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope. Urgh.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and
That's
square,
what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time you followed the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? Fair trial. One last showdown, in other words. This would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, the mastermind himself. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Very?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes! Now, what you've suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. They're so terrible. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting
You
end.
guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right, every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do
I
that,
can barely contain myself!
that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
Those are fucking horrible, but they're hilarious. That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of this school,
Guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations. Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry!
I'm done talking! I got nothing left to say to you! So get lost, would ya? Why so mad?
Phew.
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You really gonna let me go? Pfft, I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
I don't know what that was. Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. The bear laughs better for himself. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. I guess we should talk to her. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however...
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So...
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
Because...
It's all because of that one moment the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So, when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However...
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
In other words...
Think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
So...
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world...
It would seem...
The mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words...
So the mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey.
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
That's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, the mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, that same motivation is what led to the mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words...
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world, the mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
At the very least...
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves. Oh, and that's why the mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
Indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all the proper rules, to get me killed. They began the trial that didn't have a right answer. They made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion?
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words...
It would only do the mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the mastermind to accept your challenge.
However...
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me. Another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
Wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd shown my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. Sorry, had to pause. I have an itch. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Anyway, right now we have to go find the
shall
others.
we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Okay. Oh, sorry, Birdie. He's sitting on my hand again. We go through these long points where we're just chatting, so I like put my hand on the back of my couch and he snuggles up because it's like really late when I'm recording this. I just couldn't resist. I had to, yeah, this way. I just couldn't resist. Like, I couldn't wait to play this. I had to like continue. So let's go to dorms. Maybe they're in here. I think they're in here. I smell like garbage. Do you think I could take a shower, maybe? Nope. And suddenly we were greeted with... lots of swearing. You again. I don't know what he's saying. Is he broken?
Whew.
I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. I have no idea what he's... Jeez, what the heck?
However,
I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Ah!
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
Huh? You survived?
Jeez. You're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
Shut up, you can spray a cockroach with rage, but you can't kill me, bitch.
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Everyone was there, all my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up. Aw, I'm a big fat wuss.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto! He smells like a wet dog. That's what white people smell like when we get wet, okay? We smell like a dog. He smells worse than a wet dog. We've been down in the trash, I'm sorry. Get away! Shoo! Shoo! And in a flash, my tears dried up. Talk to this creepy. Ugh, you stink. Are you rotten? Rotten physically, mentally, every way you can be rotten. Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while. The smell is just so smelly. Oh, super smelly. You smell even worse than me. Way worse than me. I win. She seems happy for some reason. That she's stinky. Maybe she should learn to take a bath. That's disgusting. So what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured that since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again. And no dice. All the rooms that were locked before were still locked. So there weren't any new areas. Then where could we go to find new clues? I still can't believe you survived. Yeah, me either. Do you realize why it is you escaped execution? It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say they had their lives saved by a computer program. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. I just can't admit that I'm so awesome that a computer program saved my life each way. Makoto, what was it like hanging out in the spirit world? I didn't go to the spirit world. Did you get to talk to her? Who? Miss Cleo. No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo?
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma.
Yes.
Explain? Explain what?
Hmm.
But is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial.
Huh?
Last class trial?
In other words,
We're going to redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer. And of course it's not me or any of you.
Huh?
Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is it was all the work of the mastermind.
Huh?
What? You're saying the mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
Mukuro? That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop it.
However,
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You make it sound like it was easy. I just,
however,
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school rules. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcasting to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial, when you said now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean.
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So, knowing all of this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? Mukuro, right? Mukuro? I don't know what. Mukuro. I can't pronounce any of these names. You know what? They're Tim, Bob, Sally, Susan, and Joe now. It's about who killed Mukuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind. But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Huh?
Every last mystery?
But
But we've been looking around all this time and we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway,
You've probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies.
Oh, no!
Everyone?
I hate you.
Hey! Who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with my master. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
anyway.
Or die trying. Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other
Interesting.
words, one decisive final battle. Rather interesting development, I'd say. But figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and the school's mysteries... And all the school's mystery. It's a pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh?
I
can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? There was only 16 yet. It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. So the mastermind is someone in
I
the school.
see.
Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable.
Huh?
Huh? But why?
So, in other words,
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have to have set foot in the school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
in other words,
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning, and in Mamukuro, and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them?
That's right.
And of those 16 people who we started out with, the only ones still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? But that doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, I'm assuming it probably is one of us, but the mastermind could have been a student that was quote-unquote blackened and quote-unquote killed, because we survived, which would really point to us being the mastermind, which would be freaking awesome, because you think we're all super innocent and doofy. And like, I don't know how to solve it, and everybody thinks I'm kind of doofy, and then I'm like, evil genius, go to hell, people, you know? Or it's him. Because I know he doesn't die, so I don't know. You're saying the mastermind is one of us? It would be hilarious if it was him as well.
No way!
You can't be serious! Well, wait, we can't say for sure that it's true yet. Monokuma might have just said all that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair. So they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well...
Maybe they just snuck off and controlled him in secret. Or he's programmed. Or nobody's actually physically controlling him, you know what I mean? He could be great, like super good programming.
But...
I don't care how sneaky you are. We would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still...
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school.
Ooh.
Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
I want a Monokuma that when you squeeze him, he laughs like that, so I can sleep with him every night and roll over and just like be startled awake and horrified with holy shit. I don't know. I love him so much. Holy crap, we're going on 40 minutes. I can't even believe that. I didn't not even realize it. How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can rely only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Gah! My master! He didn't take me with him!
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without master, the rest of you were like coffee with cream, without the cream or coffee. You're totally useless! So bye-bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. Now she's gone. You're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing. I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know?
I mean...
But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depend on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto, that's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
Okay.
So I figure, at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later! Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. Once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
Indeed. Oh, so I thought Kyoko was gonna go by herself. Weird. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this part up here now that's been like 40 minutes, and we'll start our investigation, I guess, in some of the rooms that used to be locked. So I'm assuming that's what we do. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.